Hi there, my name's Scott McDonald, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a Daywalker on Trampwall. Before learning these, I would highly recommend being comfortable with both L-sits on the corner and vampires. If you need help learning either, I have tutorials for both on my channel. Since a Daywalker is essentially a vampire without the half twist, it basically feels like a cross between these two tricks. Just like in a vampire, you tap, get inverted and do a hand plant, and in this case, the rather vulnerable position you catch in and the way you return to the bed feel very similar to an L-sit. That said, unlike vampires or L-sits, Daywalkers are usually done using only one hand. Two-handed Daywalkers do exist, but they put you into an even more vulnerable place than the one-handed version, and they require a little more mobility to do. With that in mind, I recommend you turn your plant hand out, which will allow you to open your shoulder more and keep you from forcing your wrist into an acute angle. You can also get additional shoulder extension if you turn your body slightly towards the planted hand. Also, Daywalkers tend to go to the face of the wall, not the top. You can do one that catches the corner, but the catch position isn't really something you can hold or balance, so it's just going to be a matter of hitting the shape momentarily and then falling back in, just like it would be against the face. To do one, start by running the wall. When you're ready to go, give yourself a little extra boost off the wall, then as the trampoline comes back up, you're going to leave your head and chest down while driving your hips and knees up towards the ceiling. Tap pretty early using a striking motion with one or both feet, anchor against the face with one hand underneath you before you reach the apex of your bounce, extend into a shape of your choice, and then retract and push off the wall before resuming wall running to complete the trick. Now, I mentioned you can tap with one or both feet. No matter which hand you're planting, it doesn't matter which foot configuration you use, and you can even do it with no tap. My personal preference is to tap with my right foot and plant my right hand, but I encourage you to try all of the above and see what works best for you. With regards to placement, just like walking backs or vampires, you can either stay close the entire time and just travel straight up and down, or you can push further out in your pre-bounce so the far springs push you back towards the wall. This is just a matter of personal preference, so I recommend experimenting and seeing what works best for you. In terms of visual reference points, I honestly rely more on feeling than visuals for this trick, as I'm mostly focusing on my angle of inversion and where my feet are with regards to the corner as I descend. That said, as I run the wall, I spot the place where I intend to place my hand, then once I've tapped I reach blindly behind myself while watching the corner of the wall up my body. At the same time, I also use my peripheral vision to gauge whether or not I'm safely above the bed or if I'm still over the springs as I fall back towards the trampoline. Now, with regards to body angle, there isn't any official code of points like gymnastics or accepted standard of quality in Trampwall, but I personally think that a legitimate Daywalker is one in which the hips are higher than the shoulders. In my opinion, this inversion is what really defines a Daywalker as being a vampire variation, and also what makes it spooky to do. Alright, now that you understand how Daywalkers work, let's break them down into a few simple drills. First up, let's take a look at a drill that you might have already done when learning walking backs and vampires. For this, you're going to do a wall run but squat so you can get your butt as close as possible to the face of the wall. You'll know you're close enough when you can touch the wall with your back knee or shin. From here, add inversion by actively leaving your chest down and leading with your hips and knees as you leave the bed. Take this time to practice looking up your body, and when this feels comfortable, try to only make contact with one leg while extending the other one straight upward. When that's easy, try adding a hand plant underneath your body. Since there's no tap for this, the timing will feel a little bit different from a real Daywalker, but focus on making contact with your hand pretty early and sinking all of your weight into it. Next, practice running like this, but then pushing off more aggressively into the bed and tapping early into a slightly inverted face pop, using the same timing and striking tap as a regular vampire to simulate your Daywalker takeoff. When this feels comfortable, do the same thing, but plant one hand on the wall right in front of your face. Make sure you're getting all your weight in your hand and making contact before you reach the apex of your bounce so you can get a moment of weightlessness at the top. Next, do the exact same thing, but plant your hand at chest height and push your hips out to the side as you catch. On the way down, retract and anchor again to push off into a wall run. From here, it's just a matter of moving your hand lower and bringing your hips higher. I recommend aiming for about a 45-degree angle, and then eventually, try and plant the hand beneath yourself. When you can do it with your hips above your shoulders, congratulations, because you just did your first Daywalker. Take some time to drill and get comfortable with it, and when it feels safe, you can start extending your legs to hit any shape of your choice. Let's take a look at a few common Daywalker mistakes and how to either fix them or just avoid them outright. First and foremost, beware of catching your feet on the corner as you drop back in. Even though your feet shouldn't technically be beyond the corner, if you scoop your legs downward or try and sit up as you drop back in, your heels can catch and tip you over onto your neck. Now on the other end of the spectrum, if your hips wind up further away from the wall than your shoulders, you're likely to lose traction and tip over like this. With that in mind, it's extremely important to get all of your weight into your planted hand. If you wait too long to make contact, or you just stay too far away from the wall to make contact, it's going to be very sketchy, so make sure you're tapping early and making contact before reaching the apex of your bounce. Also make sure you're not looking down or away from the wall, as this will make it much harder to control your Daywalker and will greatly increase your risk of injury. Lastly, if you're struggling to get inverted, you're probably lifting your chest as you leave the bed, sending your hips out to the side instead of upward, or both. This is perfectly normal, and it's just a byproduct of your survival instincts trying to keep you alive, so if this is happening, you can either revisit the drills or just focus on leaving your chest down and leading straight upward with your hips. Also make sure you're reaching your hand behind you, not beside you. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up, but I hope this video gave you everything you need to learn Daywalkers. If you have any questions or requests for future tutorials, just let me know in the comments below. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in coaching or workshops, you can always message me on Instagram at Scott A. McDonald. And until next time, good luck and happy training.